CCTV footage of a man in a wheelchair being robbed of his cell phone went viral last week. Now, the video circulated on social media, sparking massive outrage. The man in the footage is Zain Bulbulia, a director in the Gauteng Premier's office for people with disabilities and the elderly. Let's speak to him now. He joins us via our video link. Zain, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We're trying to get that video ready for our viewers to see as well, but I've seen it. You know, it starts off with you sitting in the middle of the road. I didn't know what to expect. And then, of course, what happened to you unfolds in, there it is now.
Yeah, sure. I normally take a break going down from my apartment to sit in the sun for about 5 minutes and then get back to work. And this was around about 4 o'clock the afternoon. And I wasn't even downstairs for about 5 minutes and then received a call. And next minute, a guy pounced on me and basically took my cell phone, but I also tried to hold on to it. And as the car was driving past, I think one of his friends got out, and I then said, no, it's 2 against 1. I'm more vulnerable, and I just let go.
I mean, it's just...
It happened also quick.
It's just heartbreaking to watch, and I can imagine how you must have felt in that moment. Take us through, you know, how you were feeling. You were, as you say, just taking a break, trying to catch some sun. What was going through your mind?
Well, you know, it was also sudden, and one doesn't really expect something like this to happen. I normally see people walking past, and this guy walked past and looked like he's going to greet and looked like an honorable person. And next minute he attacked me, and you know, first thing he went for was my arm, and where the cell phone was in. Well, it was a great shock, and obviously, you know, some 23 years ago I got shot and became a paraplegic. So yeah, it was like reliving that trauma, coming back so many years again, somebody attacking you and being so vulnerable. It's just, there's no words to explain it. And, you know, the footage just shows that everyone is vulnerable.
Yeah.
People with disabilities are more vulnerable. It's like criminals leave no one behind. That's their modus operandi, just to take what they want.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Did this man say anything to you while he was attacking you?
No, nothing at all. You know, just came and pounced on me. And he then had a group of friends that's driving past that stopped. And as he grabbed the phone, they got into the car. So they look like they guys that's driving an Uber, or you think the Uber's dropping off someone. And that's the way they operate. This happened in Killarney, and I'm not the first one. Apparently, the same day, another person got mugged as well. So I think they're operating in this way, not only in Killarney, but probably all over. But like I say, it leaves us more vulnerable, and one wouldn't expect something happening like this to a person with a disability.
Well, let's talk about these statistics regarding crimes against people with disabilities. I mean, we have statistics on all sectors of our violent crimes. I don't believe we have statistics on this particular segment of our country. And of course, that means we can't have a coordinated response to the problem.
Yes, definitely. There's no stats on people with disabilities within crime. I've raised this point as well to the department in the presidency for women, youth and people with disabilities to ensure that we have an annual performance indicator tracking crime for people with disabilities. You know, just to give you an example, what happens to a deaf lady if she gets raped? Gender-based violence. How are we tracking disabled women being reporting their cases at the police station? Are police stations accessible to people with disabilities? Do we have a sign language interpreter that will be able to assist? So, you know, disability has been taken far back. All the other vulnerable groups are moving forward. The LGBTIQ is plus has advanced in all their aspects. So since 1994, nothing really has happened around people with disabilities. We basically moving with slow strides. And how do we move forward? It's that community needs to accept. Sooner or later, you're either going to become disabled or you're going to be old. I mean, with the coronavirus, we're picking up that the after effect of the corona has definitely left some people with some sort of disability, whether it's the sight, hearing, chest infections, chronic illness. So how does South Africa now take on the view of disabled people? We've signed and ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities in 2007. We're sitting now in 2021. There's the white paper on the rights of people with disability at the presidency. Gauteng's got the policy on rights of people with disabilities. But are we getting our individuals, ministers and various others really working towards the rights of people with disabilities? We've seen the advancement of gender rights. We've seen the advancement of youth. We've seen the advancement of the LGBTIQ community. But we are still waiting to see that people are moving forward.
I mean, if we think about our track record as a country when it comes to the rights of people with disabilities, we don't have to think back very far, our lowest point being the life Isidimeni crisis that our country experienced.
Yes, and that's just a couple of years ago, and that alone was a highlight for Gauteng. Whether we're learning from the incidents or what has happened with the life Isidimeni, it's big strides that we need to take forward in saying, these are our shortcomings. How do we work with it? We've got the National Development Plan 2030, and how is that impacting on people's rights of people with disabilities? Are they talking about various other things within the National Development Plan? They're having a review of the plan. Does it include the vulnerable groups? Yeah. And these are things that we need to hold our government accountable. We need to hold civil society accountable, and we need the awareness on rights of people with disabilities.
Well, Zain, in your capacity as director in the Gauteng Premier's office for people with disabilities and the elderly, since this happened to you last week, and given the various challenges that people with disabilities do face, what's the kind of work that you are doing that's hoping to advance that very agenda that you've just described?
Well, sure. Unfortunately, that's happened to me, but it's obviously happening to lots of other disabled people as well. One of the major steps that we've taken forward to was now to work with the Department of Community Safety to ensure that we have one sort of indicator that people would report on crimes against people with disabilities, but also to see how do we get the particular department to start having active policing and getting out, whether it's a JMPD, whether it's SAPS, to start working around, but also including the private companies with security and things like that. Yeah, sure. This has taken us as a shock. It's something that we have to really re-look at. It's something that we have to now monitor going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Zain, thanks so much for coming on and talking to us. And again, I'm so sorry you had to go through what you went through just this week. Zain Bulbulia is a director in the Gauteng Premier's Office for People with Disabilities and the Elderly. And that video you've been seeing alongside this interview went viral just last week after he was robbed of his cell phone, just sitting there in the street trying to catch some sun during an ordinary day.